one of the questions we asked was, does your company post its documentation on the web so people can find it? And we'd asked this question 2 years ago, and 2 years ago it was only 15%. And even in January, it was still only 40% for the people that we surveyed. Now, the people that had published information on the web were the only group that really had a handle on how many users they had. And they were showing some incredibly large numbers of users downloading information or accessing information, some of the most popular pages on their company's websites. And in terms of assessing it, the numbers that they were able to provide and back up were at least 9 times the number of users than those that were producing traditional documentation. And today, certainly for Generation Y, the 21st century users, and for many other people out there, if content isn't on the web, it's invisible. Because for most people, as soon as they need to find out any information on any subject, when they go to look at Google, they go to search through Google or through Wikipedia and other mechanisms. And when we did our survey, one of the people we interviewed, in fact, they'd done some usability studies on the users and their online help. And they told them that help was available by hitting F1 when they went to a particular screen. And they gave them the task to try and work through the software. And 50% of the users, even though they knew that help was there, went straight to the web, straight to Google for finding information that was there. And as I said, web-based content enables technical communicators to quantify their value, to give them some measurements for the information that's important to the user. Now, when it came to organising this information and trying to explain the value of content and where we're going with documentation, I thought the best way to structure it was actually around some marketing and economic theories, because technologies may come and go, but I think there are some key ideas and impacts on business that are going to be around for a long time. One is the idea that the businesses are moving towards having to do business and winning customers through what's been called trusted relationships. And this is an idea that's come through a number of different books and theories. Probably the most famous one is something called the Clue Train Manifesto, which is a book you can download, or a manifesto that you can download, which emphasizes that the future of business is going to be around, successful business is going to be around those that build trust and credibility with their customers, and develop conversations and dialogue between themselves and their customers as well. And I think linked in with this, within a documentation field as well, has been the introduction of what has been called human search. So people getting information and deciding what they buy through getting recommendations and links from other people. And we see this through primarily, of course, Twitter. And of course, online help and user-generated content is highly trustworthy and has great value to users, and therefore can be, to use a rather horrible word, leveraged or leveraged by the business to get more from it. And this also relates through to the developments within, say, the music industry and other areas as well, as the read-write culture that Professor Lawrence Lessig has talked about. And there's a presentation that he did at TED.org about this development of the read-write culture, this idea that you can take songs and remix them, mash them up, and take content and adapt it and modify it to yourself. And this is a traditional approach to things. It was really only with the introduction of the gramophone record that we ended up with authoritative, one definitive way of having music. Before that, people sang songs, had lots of variations, almost like folk music, of interpreting things. Now, we're starting to see this introduction of the read-write culture within documentation today. And Gentle has published a book, which I'm yet to receive a review copy, so I haven't read, which is Document as Conversation. And one of the things she's been involved with has been the FLOSS Manual's website. And on that, what you can do is you can take documents, user documents for open source applications, and you can read them. You can actually write and amend and add comments to them, and you can actually remix them as well. You can take different chapters from a book, drag them into a window on the right, and publish your PDF of your own personalized manual. People like O'Reilly Publishing have opened up some of the technical manuals that they produce, and they've actually enabled on their website users to add, amend, and edit content as well, albeit in both cases within a mediated environment where there's an editor to approve or unapproved or not approved content before it goes live. And in fact, with the FLOSS Manual website as well, there's the ability to embed chapters or complete manuals on other websites so that you can have content syndicated. And if it changes, that content that change in the content is dynamically updated across all the different websites that are out there. Now, for many organizations, the concept of putting content on the web and having content that users can edit is frightening, completely and utterly scary. And most of the developments that have happened so far have been within organizations that are developing open source software, where the culture is quite different from traditional software companies or technology companies. And in another presentation that Michael Wetch did, he talked about the different ideas of communication, network hierarchy and mass media. And for many organizations, they have an authority hierarchical-based approach. And so part of the challenge is coming up with a solution that fits within that culture, or adapting the culture of the organization so that it reflects and can accommodate the idea of customers having a voice. So, one economic theory, trusted relationships. Another economic theory, which I think is vital and will come more and more to the fore within organizations, and is a context in which, a way of which technical communication can be framed, is the idea of the attention economy. And this comes